Hello, everyone. I hope you're all good. I'm not gonna put on the camera because it's gonna consume the internet lots, so that to be on the safe side in terms of the quality and the efficiency, it's better not to share in the video at all. So guys, you're all muted. If you have any question, unmute yourself and ask directly, okay? So this class will be recorded, and later after that, I will just gonna share it with you, the link where you can rewatch and see it. So in this class, what we're gonna do, we are going to use the database from where we're gonna download the data for the purpose to run the regression analysis on the STATA. So in this class, you will learn how to find the data that you needed, like GDP and other variables that we were dealing with, and running the regression analysis on the STATA. So downloading on one side, you need to know how to put all this data in a good manner. Let me share the screen with you, if I can, here, okay. Okay. Now, you should see my screen, actually. Can you?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
Do you hear me properly?
Yes, Professor.
Yes, we do.
Okay, perfect. Now, you go to the Google. Okay, let me tell you about the exam. You're going to be given a certain task where you will be downloading the data, and you will arrange the data in a proper way, and you will run the regression analysis. So I'm going to just do today similar to the exam that you're going to have it on Thursday. So please make sure you follow with me. If you have any question, just raise the hand and go with that. So we have a database, which is Worldbank database. It's an open source. It's an open access. It's a free. Daniel, could you just turn off the video? Sorry for that, because we need to make the efficiency in terms of the internet connection. It might affect, because I'm not in the Kazakhstan, that to be on the safe side, I wanted to have it like efficiently and clear. Now, you go to this website, Worldbank database, you just type in the Google search, and it opens here. Okay. Then I go for, on the right side here, I have a data bank. I have a data bank here. So you need to go here. Just press on that. So it will direct you here. Okay. Where you have different databases like World Development Indicator, Statistical Capacity Indicator, Gender Statistics. We just press the first one, like World Development Indicators. We just press on that. Okay, it will open you the database itself. Okay, the database has got 4 components here on the left side. First, second, third, and fourth. Database, it's a type of database. You can go in and find different thousands of variables in it. Then country, go with the country, like selection of all countries, more than 150 countries, different types of variables and series, and of course the time. Now we go with the database. I want to go, let's say, with the finance, okay? Database, finance. I'm going here. I've just put FIN, like FIN, as an abbreviated word, finance. So I have global financial development. I have global financial inclusion, the consumer protection, global financial inclusion. So I need to go with the last one. But what is the good thing in here? On the left side, you have this I letter. If you just press on that, it will give you the kind of description of this database. So global financial development database is the extensive data set of the financial system characteristics for 203 economies, like for 203 countries. So database includes the measure of the size of financial institution markets, degree to which the individuals can do and use the financial service, and so on. Like all data that is related to the finance. Okay, we can go over it. So I select the global financial database, just click on that. It should take you some while to go to that place, okay? And let me go with a country, let's say Turkey. It's now called Turkey, if it's not here, okay, still. Now, and then I'm gonna go with the series, okay? I have like 5 bank, this is the variable that I'm using. Let's say I'm gonna use the GDP. I put word, I'll abbreviate the word as a GDP, like gross domestic product, and press enter. Or if you don't want to press the enter, you can just press on this question mark, like search mark. Okay, we have all GDPs here, okay? GDP, but I need like gross domestic product itself. Like we have domestic credit that we were dealing the last time. Let me see, do I have the gross domestic here or not? Gross portfolio. I don't think that I will be able to find it, gross domestic product. Okay, guys, let me change the database. I'll go with the world development indicators rather than the finance. So again, I'm gonna select the Turkey. In here, they changed the name, but in that database, they did not change it, okay? And for your information, the Turkey, it's not anymore Turkey, it's already converted to Turkey. So if you're gonna search it, it's gonna search it like through this name. So there's no anymore like Turkey. There's a Turkey. Now, I selected the country, then I'm gonna select this series. I'm gonna go with the GDP. Here, fraud money. Domestic credit again. Final consult, FDI. Okay, I have the GDP here, okay? Later, GDP growth, I'm gonna select as a percentage, as annual changes. And I'm gonna select another variable. Let's say I'm gonna select, I wanna go broad money. It's a money supply. It's a quantity of the money that circulates in the economy. We can go with that. We can go with a foreign direct investment like FDI. If it's no, there's no, then foreign. Here, foreign direct investment as a percentage of GDP. We can select that one as well. Let's go with the FDI. With the FDI has an impact on, and I'm gonna go with the another variable. Let me go with consumption, like domestic credit, maybe. Okay, I have here domestic credit to private sector domestic credit to private sector by banks. Okay, let me go with that more specifically. So I selected 3 variables. Then I go to time, like for 50 years, whatever is available. Okay, and apply changes. So it's here. Okay, they're all here. Good. All data that we have found, they are all available. So in the exam, in the first quiz, I will tell you, please get one country, find these variables, and download it and use it in regression analysis. So before doing that, you need to know where to go. The first place is Worldbank Development Indicator. Okay, you go here as a database. You select the data, you select the variables, you download it. So in here, on the right side, we have a download options. Okay, here we have download options here. Just press on that, and I can select the Excel. So it's downloaded. Let me open it. Okay, my data here. Running the regression analysis using this data is not gonna work. It's not gonna work. Because STATA will not recognize, okay? We know it's a Turkey, okay, we don't need this. It's a GDP growth, foreign direct investment, it's a domestic, by the way, do you see the Excel file?
No, sir.
No.
Okay, perfect. Then I have to share everything individually, one by one. Let me reshare it. Now you should see it. Do you see it?
Yes,
Yes, we
right
do.
now.
Okay, perfect. Now, the data is downloaded in this format, okay? It's in this format. On the right, on the below, you can see the worksheets, okay? Different two worksheets here, okay? First one, which is data availability. And the second one is a series like definition of the data. For example, the first one is here. It's like in long definition. Here, foreign direct investment, what is it? Like, what is it about? Domestic credit to private sector, what is it? It refers to financial resources provided to the private sector by the other depository corporations, such as through loans, purchase, blah, 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 blah. For some countries, these claims include the credit to public enterprises. So this is the definitions, which you may not need it. We need this data, okay? We need this data. So we need to put it in order, like to run the regression. To put it in order, it should not go as a row, okay? It should go as a column from up and down, okay? Years should be from up and down. Variable should be up and down. That's it. But this one is not acceptable. The STATA will not accept it. STATA will not recognize it. But before moving to that place, would you remind me what kind of data set we are dealing with? That type of data set. Let me correct myself. Is it time series,
Time
panel
series, I guess.
data, or cross-section?
In our case, it's cross-sectional. We both have several variables and several
Careful,
time periods.
be careful.
Time series then?
Variables, we're not dealing with them. Variables are not the one who define the data type.
Maybe panel data.
It's not a panel at all.
Time series?
It's a time series because we have one country. It's a country, it's a city, it's a firms. Okay, not the variables. Variables could be in everywhere, but it should be country. Let me just correct you. Country, city. Country, city, or firm, okay? If it's just one of this, and it is one and many years, it is about the time series, not the variables itself. In each country, we may have like 10 variables. In each city, we can have 10 variables. In each firm, we can have 10 variables, but it doesn't change the data set type. The only thing that changes data set type is the firm. If we have, let's say, 2 firms or more, then it is panel data with the many years. But it's like one firm or one city or one country, then we're talking about time series. So this is time series, one country. Delete. Let's say we know it's a Turkey, okay? And it had GDP growth. Let me just, make my things easier. So I don't need this series coding something. I will just delete it too. I will leave the names here, okay? I'll just put it like, abbreviate like GDP, G as a growth. I'll put FDI. And I'll put like DC. And I know the definition. I know like how they're defined. And of course, I will change the years. Here it's a bit like 1974 and in the bracket. So I need to make it more proper. Like I'll put it like 1974, 1975, and 1976. I'll highlight, get this cross and pull it to the right until I get 2023. Perfect. Okay, all my data is ready almost. So I'll just select this, all, copy. I copy it, okay, not cut, just copy. In the another worksheet, paste it as a transpose. You see, transpose. Paste it as a transpose. So when you paste as a transpose, it's basically paste the rows as a column. Okay. And now our data is ready. So we can see this is the years. Okay. Now this is the years. Okay, we have all the data. But how many years? Like good, like almost since 1974. It's almost 50 years.
50 years.
Not almost, but it's like 50 years. Perfect. Now we can save it. We can save our data. You can save any type, any type you want. Like I'm gonna save it in downloads, let's say, any way you want, any type that so that you can recognize. I'll put like finalized data. Okay, done. I can close it. So now I'm gonna go with, okay, before I will put it into the STATA. What if I tell you guys, do it for 2 countries, not for 1, but do it for two countries or 3 countries. So you go here, again, for the countries. Let's say I want to add Kazakhstan. I will add it. And I want to add one more country, Kyrgyzstan, or let's say Tajikistan. But I'm not, I don't know whether the data will be available, but I think the data will not be available for 50 years. The Kazakhstan and Tajikistan and those CIS countries, they exist. But let's do it for these countries. Kazakhstan for 30 years. Tajikistan, and I'll select the Kyrgyzstan. Okay, but I'm gonna remove the Turkey from here. I don't need Turkey. So I'm not gonna click here. I'm just removing it. Series, I will leave the same. Number of the years, I don't think that all the years are available. Let me go for 25 years because this country that I've selected, they existed only for 30 years since their independence, like since 1991. So it's like, let me just put it on this, to be on the safe side, I'm gonna use like 25 years. And I'm gonna apply changes. So you know how to deal with the time series. Perfect, yeah? Do you have any question how to make the rows as a column, like you copy and paste it as a transpose? So I'm going here again, download the option Excel. It's downloaded and open it again. Now in my Excel, I will have more than 3 countries. Yeah.
It's again doesn't show it pixel.
Okay, it's a new Excel because I think I'm gonna reshare it again. Do you see it?
Yes, right.
Not yet. Now we can.
Okay, now we have 3 countries, Kazakhstan, Tajikistan, Kyrgyzstan. Perfect. So I don't need the first column. I will delete. Second, I will need it. The third, I will delete again. And I can see my data is starting from 1999. So 1999, 2000, 2001. Okay, perfect. 25 years. Now I will rename it again. I'll put it like GDP. G. I will put it like FDI. I will put it like DC. And I'll just copy all, paste it here, paste it here. So 3 times repeated. So now I need to put this data in a way that it will be ready for STATA. For time series, it's pretty much easy. You just copy all and paste it in another worksheet as a transpose, and the data is ready. And just run it. But this is panel data because we have 3 different countries. It's going to be a bit challenging, but still it is manageable. So I'm going to select all. I'm going to select this. Okay. Copy. Go on again here, worksheet. And again, I'm going to put it as transpose. But you can see here, data is a bit mixed. So this doesn't work like this. So I have like 3 countries here. First is Kazakhstan. This my data is for Kazakhstan. So for Tajikistan, I need to put it again. So I will just copy the years. So this is the years. Okay. So my years are ready. So I'm just copying it and pasting it for Tajikistan. Okay. Then I go to the data of Tajikistan. I just select all this data, 3 variables, okay, like this. You can cut and paste it here, just below the Kazakhstan data. Same thing here, cut and paste it here. And put the years again, repetitively 3 times, like that's it, okay? So this is kind of data is managed. Now, delete this and leaving this. So years, GDP, FDI, and domestic credit, all data are here. Perfect. So guys, whenever you see this type of dots, it means missing data. It's better to delete it, okay? It's better to delete it, not to have it, because the STATA will not recognize these dots, and it will see it as a text, and it might not run the regression analysis properly. So it's better to delete it. Let's say you have many dots here, okay? Dots here. So maybe you have like 25 or 2,000 dots, and it's going to be very difficult and complicated to go and delete them manually one by one. What you can do, just press Ctrl F like this, like find replace, select these dots, copy it, and paste it here, and replace with nothing. Replace all. It said like we made a for replacement. It could be the data set where you may have like 4,000 cells, 4,000 observations, which means maybe more than like 1,000 dots, 1,000 missing values. That means that it is better using this Ctrl F, like control replacement. So all my dots are replaced. Perfect. They're almost ready to run. Let me save it as. I'll go down, download.
Professor, and should
Yes,
we
please.
add also countries after the years?
Sorry?
Should we also add countries after the years to know,
You might add it. You might
to
add it, but
identify?
you could add it. That's a good point. But in this case, I didn't add it. But let's do it. Okay, let's do it to be on the safe side. Countries. We might need it for some certain purpose. Countries. Okay. The first one was
Kazakhstan.
Kazakhstan until 2023. The third one was Tajikistan. Yeah.
The second, Tajikistan. Third, Kyrgyzstan.
And Kyrgyzstan. Good point that you have just mentioned it. So it's better to add it to be like sure about like maybe you're gonna get the descriptive statistics that would help you too. Okay, then we're gonna save it as. I'm gonna go for downloads. Finalize data, replaced. So that's it, guys. What is the interesting thing in here? When you're gonna run the regression analysis, you're not gonna run the regression analysis on each country separately. You can do it separately, but the main idea of combining making the panel data is assuming that they are like one country, they are like one entity. Like this all data represents this whole region: Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, and Tajikistan, like Central Asia representation. Okay, I'm just gonna close it here. I'm gonna go for data set, my STATA here. Okay, my STATA here. Now, I
Sorry,
will
again,
go here.
it doesn't
No,
show
status
the
is fine.
STATA.
Okay, again, it doesn't show it. Perfect. Okay, I'm going to now upload like file, import Excel spreadsheet, the same way that we did it so far. Browse, in downloads, I have finalized data. But here you can see what's happening, like different thing. Import the first row as the variable names, but as you can see, it's a mixture. The data set is like in row, but there's a worksheet selection, okay? You need to select the worksheet. You need to find the right worksheet. So I'll go with the second one. As you can see, now data is more organized. Data is more organized here. Okay. Here we go. I imported data. Then I go to statistics. I should have gone to time series if it was time series data set, but it's a panel data. I will go to panel data here. Link with Genio, panel data. Okay, the same way. Set up an utilities, declare data set to be panel data. If you remember, with the time series, we used to do what? Here, this one. But now we're gonna go with link with Genio, panel data. Why panel data? Because we have more than 2 countries, more than 1 country. Declare data set to be panel. So it tells you select the panel ID. Okay. For the panel ID, first of all, we need to define the ID, which we did not define it. We will define. So we need to define the panel ID for each country, because the STATA does not recognize the text, as I said. It recognizes only the numbers. We need to create the numbers for each country. So we go to here, back Excel. Going back. I will open it and share it again because it's not going to be visible. Because to run the panel data regression analysis, you need to define each country's or each firm's the ID. Reshare it. Okay. Now, can you see the Excel?
Yes.
Okay, now, guys, here we see that it's letters are written here, okay? We need to just insert one more column here, and we'll type it like ID. So Kazakhstan will be 1. So for all Kazakhstan, it is 1. For Tajikistan, it's going to be 2. And for Kyrgyzstan, it's going to be 3. Okay, save it. That's it. Again, Kazakhstan is 1, Tajikistan is 2, Kyrgyzstan is 3. That's it. We're closing it. We're going again, like file, Excel spreadsheets. Do you see my data?
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do.
Yes.
Browse, finalize data, import first, row as a variable names, data sheet. Okay, we can see the ID appeared here too. So perfect. We just press OK. Then go statistics, link with tunnel panel data, setup, utilities, declare data set to be panel data. Now, in the panel ID variable, I will select, do you see the small box appeared?
Yes.
Because it might seem that I have not. So in panel ID variable, I will select ID. In time variable, I will select years because I'm introducing time and panel. And I just press OK. So it has been defined as panel data, strongly balanced, okay? It has been defined as a panel data. Perfect. Now, the following is the similar, like I would like to see summary statistic, okay? Summarize GDPG, FDI, and domestic credit for all these three countries. So it's going to get the average, minimum, maximum for all three countries overall, not one by one. Okay. So this is average, like mean, for all three countries. Not for one country only. Like it sees these countries as one country, as a one region. So it's good to, for example, unite CIS or post-Soviet Union countries or Europe or, I don't know, Central Asia countries and so on. I can make the correlation analysis, see how they're correlated. Correl. Just change the summarize to the word correl. You can see that the correlation between GDP and the FDI is 23%. It's very low. It's weak correlation between the GDP growth and the domestic. Do you remember United States case? Where the domestic credit has a positive impact and it was the strongest instrument.
Yeah.
But in Central Asia, you see it's a negative impact. I don't know what's going to be the regression analysis. Let's see the regression. Regress. So we can see here, guys, it's a negative, yeah? Domestic credit. FDI has a positive impact. But look at the domestic credit, it's a negative. And it tells you that, so the result we get the regression analysis here, I want to see how, like my GDP, okay, is equal to beta 0 plus beta 1 of FDI plus, let me purely deal with the domestic credit. That's going to be more here. Okay, I'm going to deal with only domestic credit. I'm going to use just one variable. See how the domestic credit affects. So we can see here with my econometric model, beta 0 plus beta 1 of domestic credit plus error term. Okay. Now we can see it's a negative. So the case we found it in the United States, it was totally different for the case of these three countries, this in Central Asia, Tajikistan, Kyrgyzstan, Kazakhstan. So if you want to improve the GDP growth for the United States, you would suggest to the, I don't know, to the like government to improve the domestic credit position, to expand the money supply. But in the case of Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, and Tajikistan, it's going to work totally different. So you might not give such recommendation, because if they do so, they will end it up like with a reduction of the GDP. So which you might not want to do it. So you can see it's a negative impact. But on the other side, we need to check whether the whole whether it's statistically significant, whether we trust on this or not. Do you think that the domestic credit has the impact on the GDP growth if you see the results? Check the p-value and check the coefficient. We said that it's a negative impact on the GDP growth, true. But is it statistically significant?
No, it's above 10%.
It's above the 10%, it's above 1%, it's above 5%, yeah? So it's not statistically significant. What about the whole model validity? Which is whether the whole model is trustable, validated or not. Just looking
Not
at
valid.
the probability of statistics.
Not validated.
Not validated. And can you tell me about the R-square?
It's very low.
It's very low. The higher, the better it is. So it tells you that changes, the variation in GDP can be explained by 7%, even 0.7%. Less than 1% explanation by independent variable, which is very, very low. So the whole model is not trustable. So that means we can say that domestic credit does not have any impact on the GDP in this region. This is, again, negative result. It's a result too. We can say that the domestic credit does not impact or does not exert any influence on GDP growth, as our results suggest. Okay, this is what we found it. This is what we have come up with. An interesting thing, again, we can run multiple regression analysis. Let me run it again. We can see here that FDA has a positive impact, yeah? And it is statistically significant at what significance level?
Below 5%.
Yeah, it is low at 5%. Okay, it's significant at 5%. And it has a positive. What about the probability of statistic? Can we say that the whole model is validated? And at what significance level?
Whole model probably not, because domestic credit is not significant.
Okay, it could be the case. Look, domestic credit is not significant, but this is significant. This is significant. But what about the whole model?
Low, only 7.7%.
Look, not the R-squared, the whole model. We can see from the whole model by looking at the probability of statistic, by comparing to 1 and 5 and 10%. It is more than 1, it is more than 5, but less than 10%. So it is validated or statistically significant, best fitted at 10%. But still it's a weak validity, but still it is valid. Okay. So this is what it tells us. So do you have any questions? Anything you want to clarify here?
Like,
Okay.
can you, sir, excuse me, can you clarify regarding the F statistics and R squared again?
Yeah, sure. Okay, first of all, what do you do, guys, here? You check each variable one by one. You start with this. You create the hypothesis, null hypothesis, and alternative hypothesis. In null hypothesis, you say that beta 1 is not equal to 0. Beta 1 is equal, sorry, vice versa, is equal to 0. And in alternative hypothesis, say beta 1 is not equal to 0. And your p-value in here, the p-value is equal to 0.02, which is less than
1%.
No, less than 5%. It is more than 1, because 1% is what? It's 0.01. It is more than 1, but less than 5. So we reject null hypothesis at 5% of level significance, because p-value is less than 5%. we can conclude that coefficient of FDI is statistically significant. Then we move to the second one, creating the second hypothesis. Now, an alternative. Now tells you that beta 2 is 0. Beta 1 is not, sorry, beta 2 again is not equal to 0. And the p-value here is equal to 0.19, which is more than even 10%. So we do not reject the null hypothesis. Means that the coefficient of domestic credit is not statistically significant. And we say that the domestic credit does not have any impact on the GDP if you compare to FDI. And this is constant, like, which is beta 0, which you need to create any, again, hypothesis. Now, an alternative. Beta 0 is equal to 0. Beta 0 is not equal to 0. The p-value is 0, means which is less than even 1%. So we reject the null hypothesis because p-value is less than 1%, and we can conclude that if there is no changes in domestic credit and for indirect investment, ceteris and paribus, the GDP growth will be increased by 5.5%. Okay, and it is statistically significant. And okay, we can see that domestic credit is not significant, but FDI is significant, constant variable significant. Two significant, one not significant. But we need to make a decision whether the whole model is statistically validated or not. The whole model that we have created, the econometric model, which is GDP is equal to beta 0 plus beta 1 of FDI plus beta 2 of domestic credit and plus error term. So we need to check whether this whole model is best fitted or not. To do that, we need to go to see the probability of F statistics. Again, the rule is the same. In order to reject the null hypothesis, probability of F statistics should be less than 1 in 5 or 10%. Again, we're writing down the whole, what do you call it? Just a second, let me create a space. So here, I'm gonna write this again. So my null hypothesis and my alternative hypothesis for the whole model. Okay, this is whole model. Sorry for my handwriting. I'm trying my best. Beta 0 is equal to beta 1 is equal to beta 2 and all equal to 0. But in here, alternative hypothesis, beta 0 is not equal to 0. Beta 1 is not equal to 0. And beta 2 is not equal to 0. Now, we can see that this is p-value of F statistics is more than 1 in 5, but less than 10. It means that we reject the null hypothesis at 10% of level significance. And we can conclude that the whole model is best fitted. But when it comes to the R-square is tells you that how much your dependent variable changes explained by changes in independent variables. In other words, if you're going to put it in simply, saying that how much your GDP will change will be explained by the changes in FDI and domestic credit. Variation in GDP is explained by 7.7%, which is here, like 0.077. If you convert into the percentages, it's basically 7.7%. So 7.7% variations or changes in GDP can be explained by the variations in FDI and domestic credit. Is this clear?
Yes, it is.
Okay, perfect. Do you have any questions? Do you want to clarify anything? Okay, this is the explanation I want from you. For what are you gonna do? First of all, how you should study. First of all, you should learn how to download the data from the World Bank and organize it and put it in a way so that you can run regression analysis in STATA. The first thing. Second, you will do the regression analysis which is given here. I'll tell you, do this regression analysis and run it and explain it the way that I explain it now. Okay. Now, the written explanation is given already last time. Am I recording it? That's a good point. Yes, thanks God. I was like scared, like you asked me like intentionally to record it, but I did not. I thought, okay, it's recording, good. So again, and additionally, I'm gonna give you the recording so you will see it and you will work out on that. So it will be much, much easier for you to prepare. So it will be more individual based. There's no way to copy and cheat. And I think you will have to come to the class. I will ask the proctor to come, who might give you some recommendation, who might give you some guidance. But the work should be done on your own. You will be given like a certain country. You will do it and submit it. Okay. Do you have any questions? Okay.
What
If
type
you
of data, sorry, what type of data will be given? Panel or cross-sectional?
Time series or panel data. Time series or panel
Okay,
data.
thank you.
Like I might tell you to select 3 countries, you will select 3 countries. I might tell you go with 1 country, you'll go with 1 country. But you have to know how to organize both. Either it's a time series or panel data. Okay, now, I'm done with my part. Now I'm giving the floor to you to do the activity. The activity is the following. Select 2 countries from the World Bank database. Download 2 variables, like any variables from the World Bank. It could be GDP, it could be inflation, any 2 variables. 2 countries, 2 variables. And organize them to run this data. You're not going to run this data, just organize it. And this data set should be in Excel and should be uploaded to the Moodle as an activity too. Is this clear?
Yes.
Yes, it is.
2 countries, 2 variables, download from the World Bank, organize it for the panel data, and upload it. And then later you can rewatch to see your mistakes while you're doing this activity. You should know. Once you finish, you can leave the conference. And I'm going to be here for your questions. If you have any questions while doing it, I can guide you too. Okay, let me stop sharing and stop recording.